Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
It's time for our friend Kermit to have his cage cleaned, and I think I'm going to put him in, or put the other Tanzanian green mamba in with him, since the South African green mamba, which is now, those two are separate species. The South African green mamba is the original scientific name, Dendroaspis augusticeps, and green mambas, eastern green mambas from a little further north in their range, including Tanzania, are now known as Dendroaspis intermedius. So Kermit is a Dendroaspis intermedius, as well as the other green mamba in the other room that I'll bring over. The South African, since its venom composition is different from the Tanzanians, they have some scientific interest and use. Since there's not many in the U.S., I sent him off to the Kentucky Reptile Zoo, where he can be fully appreciated. He and Kermit really didn't get along terribly well because he was very food aggressive, and Kermit's a very shy feeder. So I'm going to take Kermit out, and since Kermit is generally a very relaxed, easygoing green mamba that I've had for a long time, I'm going to put him up on the shelf while I clean his cage. And he generally will just chill up there. So that's the plan. Things with venomous snakes don't always go by plan. So I will extract Mr. Kermit and see what his mood happens to be. Come on, dude. You're okay. You're okay? Okay, now where's your pointy end? There it is. Okay, good. Come on. Come on. Easy, easy. Okay. Relax. If you remember, folks, I say a lot of times, basically I'm doing a home invasion here. And just like you would react very defensively if I invaded your home or anybody else did, you would expect the snakes to behave in kind. So no surprise that he's a little apprehensive of what the hell's going on, especially since I dragged his cage mate out in no uncertain terms and bagged them up. So what I'll do is I'll double hook Kermit just so I don't have to lay my hands on him. Come on, bud. Oh, yes, I know you're a boreal. You don't have to prove it by wrapping your tail around things. Come on. Now, Kermit could make a run up the hook, so I have my eye watching his behavior there. Come on, dude. You're okay. You're okay. Now, as usual, I really don't like making the snake even more apprehensive by being mean and doing things that further exacerbate the situation. Come on. You're okay. Come on. I gotta get your tail out of there. Come on. Oh, yeah, okay. You got your front end. Relax. You're good. Relax, dude. Here you go. Here you go. Now, come on. Don't take my hook. Come on. You're taking my hook. There you go. There you go. There you go. You know this. You know this. Okay. Well, yeah, you're just doing your thing. See? Good guy. Good guy. A little Wetar in there. Sorry, the blue and Solaris male is like, hey, what's going on here?
Which way is he going?
Hey, Kermit, you're okay. His head's right back there. So, we're just going to let him chill. There's the pointy end. So, 99% of the time, he's just happy with the enrichment and being out. Once he gets over the apprehension that, hey, I'm out of my home, what the hell gives here, he'll just, you know, explore up there and look around, and he generally will not leave that space. But I use those qualifiers because snakes are unpredictable. Hi! Did you see that nice green sausage, huh, bud? Yeah. But, you know, he gets outside privilege like you do. So, I'm going to clean up the cage and get him settled, and then maybe tomorrow I'll put the other green in there. She's in shed. I may actually wait. But we'll see. Well, we play everything by the way things feel here. Gut impression is very important when working with these animals. You have to take your time, like you saw me just do with him. Not to frighten him, just to make him feel at ease that I wasn't going to hurt him, that he wasn't going to go in a tub or a bag. So we'll just let him chill, and I get to work here cleaning his cage. Well, Kermit has been chilling up here for what? A good 2 hours plus. I'll look at the time and I'll correct myself. He just likes to chill and doesn't misbehave at all, and just, you know, likes to hang out. Something different than being stuck in his cage. You know, and of course I give him some attention. I come over and look at him and talk to him and stuff. You know, I'm really sad, because if he would misbehave, I would feel a lot better about putting him back in his cage. But since he's so mellow and relaxed, it's like, oh dear, sorry, you know, I have to do some things, so he really needs to go back. It's okay, you know, he can be out here on the rack when I'm at home. Even if I'm not in the room, our camera up there, I can monitor, you know, what he's doing, and the sound is on, and if we hear something hit the floor, we know that Kermit's probably, or the snake that's out, is probably on the move, and we need to check in on him. But, you know, I just can't leave the house and leave him here. It's just not a good decision, is it, bud, huh? You know that it's time to sort of maybe go back to your cage, don't you, huh? You're giving me that look, or you're checking out the camera, huh? The camera weird you out, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to hand the camera to Mrs. Viperkeeper, and I am going to attempt to gently get Mr. Kermit here. Come on. Come on. I'm sorry, dude. I hate to have to do this. You're such a relaxed snake. But there's other things going on at the lair. Come on. Come on, I don't want to poke your tuchus. Why don't you just cooperate? Come on. Ugh. Yes, when they don't want to do something, come on. They don't want to do something. Come on. Come on. Come on. You're good. Yeah, you're good. Come on.
I want to go back up.
Come on. Come on. All right. Look, you got his passenger, huh? Come on. You're good. You're good. Here you go. Come on. There you go. There you go. That's a good guy. There you go. Alright, it's nice and clean. You can poop in it whenever you're ready.
And Elvis was watching the whole thing with great interest.
Yes, Elvis likes all the different kinds of sausages that I move about the room.
Were you hoping to get a taste of that?
Hi, dude. Can I lick your fingers, viperkeeper? Yeah, he's hoping to come out too, but you know, I got to go off to the store and get a couple things, and then come back and continue the work here at the lair. While Kermit was out, I moved Big Mama Death Adder and her young male companion, or into this cage so they have a little bit more room. I don't know if she's gravid or she's just got a big booty, but this is the largest Death Adder I've ever seen. You know, he's been definitely interested in breeding since I put him in there sort of in the late spring. If I really wanted them to maybe breed and produce some babies, I would have probably put them in January or so. I put them together late. If I get babies, I get babies. If not, no big deal, because the babies are a pain in the ass to get to feed, and they're quite toxic. So over here, I'll put the male Tercyclopello as soon as I clean that out, because he's a freaking nightmare and big, too big for the bin that he's in, and he's a whack job, so he needs to be in a regular cage now. Well, Mr. Tercyclopello, also known as Bothrops asper, a highly volatile customer, is grown to the point where he is no longer safe to work with in that bin. You can see that he's a bit tense right now. I'm going to attempt to hook him and put him in his new enclosure up there. So we'll see how this goes. This guy is always a problem, as you can see.
Oh yeah.
He's spazzing out. Don't let me be mean and get the gentle giants. Oh, you are going to make me get the gentle giants, aren't you?
I just know he's going to come flying out on the floor. Up, up, up.
You venomous beast, you.
Sorry folks, if this is a little jerky, I am watching the snake more than I'm watching the camera at the moment, because I don't want him at my feet.
Decided that was not your best way to go. There's your house. Go in the cage. hide in the back, do whatever you're going to do.
Woo!
Now that is one of the most dangerous lanceheads in Central America. Causes lots and lots of envenomations and loss of limb in Costa Rica in particular. That is a bad news snake. Alright, next, upsizing snakes' quarters because they're no longer safe to keep in the smaller bins. They have a little bit too much reach. Is the common lancehead or Bothrops atrox. Now we're going to plex him out of here because he's volatile, and this is the easiest way to get him across the room without him killing any of us. Now, this is the guy that's mated with Pogo, and presumably she's gravid right now. He mated with her last season, and she had one stillborn baby and 6 or 7 slugs. So we're hoping that this year it's a little better. So we're gonna go ahead and mosey on across the hall and drop him in his bachelor quarters. Since he has a ground floor apartment, it might be easier to get him to go where we want him to go, but he is a snake. Go ahead, that's where you want to go. Don't get testy. Oh, you're pissing me off, dude. Alright.
That went well.
Yes, once in a while it does go relatively smoothly. We'll secure him. Your house is in there, plus some additional furniture. I got to get the appropriate label for his cage. And we'll let him settle in.
There, see? That wasn't so bad. We were just upgrading your quarters.
He blends in pretty well with that substrate.
Boy, he sure does.
Alright, now the Denicistrodon acutus.
Definitely too big for that.
And relatively a very volatile snake. They have no sense of humor. They're quite like a Asian Bothrops asper telcyclopello. Highly toxic venom. It will kill you. It has the nickname of the 100-pace snake, which roughly equates to the number of steps that you can take after bitten and you fall over dead. Not true, but it is sort of steeped in some fact. They have a protein in their venom which drops blood pressure really abruptly. And once bitten, you usually pass out because of low blood pressure. Now, low blood pressure, could trigger other things, and it could kill you. Chances are you're going to revive, and you will need treatment, and it will cost you some flesh. These guys have very proteolytic venom, and they will melt your hand. But they're beautiful.
Very beautiful. Oh, he's ready to go.
Yes, like I said, he was like the tercyclopello, just very volatile. Now these guys take a little lower temperature, so I'm going to pull his peg out. He doesn't have an official label yet.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Krait.
I knew that would get her out.
Yes, she came out to take a nice drink. Just got some fresh water put in. Boy, she really sucks it down. And we don't get to see her too often. She's nocturnal, so this is kind of a treat. She has a very cute face.
And very potent venom.
Yes.
And note her typical triangular shape, which generally denotes a snake-eating snake. However, she dines quite happily on frozen thawed rodents. There's a few species of Krait that are sort of have a very broad diet. Lizards, birds, rodents, and other snakes, of course. There's others that are just snake specialists, and then there's others that dine on a particular genus or a group of one or two genus snakes. Very, very highly specialized. In Australia, the bandy, a common little lapid that isn't quite toxic enough to kill you, make you sick. Genus Vermicella. Those guys are snake specialists, and they only eat one species of snake found in their habitat. So even the Australians don't even bother to try to keep these cute little banded lapids, simply because they can't keep them alive, because they're such specialized feeders. They don't start feeding on anything else, and they die. So my Australian colleagues just don't keep it, so you know, the species doesn't get you know, taken from the wild. Oh boy, that's a big drink, huh? Now remember, Kraits have pre- and post-synaptic neurotoxins. Presynaptic neurotoxins are non-reversible. Once they bind to your synapse, the synapse is done and buried. You need to grow a new one. So if that happens to be part of your respiratory pathway, you need to be on a respirator until your body regenerates the neurons necessary to breathe. If it's a motor pathway, let's say to your hand or to your speech center, you may have to learn how to hold a pen, to write, to speak again, to do all those things. That's why amongst being lethal, even surviving a Krait bite you know, has its side effects.
That is the longest drink I've ever seen.
And she's got water coming out of her nose. I'm filling my mouth so much it's coming out my nose. She's such a good snake, so easy to keep. I gotta get around to cleaning her cage too. She's a very messy cage snake, just like all the other lapids.